Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here, basically, we are discussing one of the topic that is city creation. In city creation, basically, we are discussing one of the topic that is vitamins. One of the person told that basically this design basically just we discussed in previous video basically what actually that is basically. So one of the person told that human body basically contains many parts basically many parts of body parts basically are there in the human body. Head is there, penis is there, then the vagina is there, then basically the eye is there, head is there, neck is there, hand is there, leg is there, head is there. So each and every eye basically head part basically everything contains. So each and every body parts basically the human body contains. So that basically need to upgrade also basically. Upgrade means, for example, in this world basically there are many people basically whose age is 90,000 also basically. 90,000 means you can just imagine basically 90,000 year old basically. That means more than 102 generation basically has ended basically. Complete world basically ended 102 time basically. Then also basically the 90,000 age people basically exist somewhere in world basically, or basically it might possible that they basically whenever the earth planet basically is going to end, that time basically they leaves the planet basically. Like this basically the 90,000 year age people are also basically staying in this world basically. So one of the person told that basically this basically you can see the design basically in previous video basically you can see the design basically in the this video basically in this design basically what is the part of each and every designs basically. So one of the person told that what is the part of the India land basically. Then in this basically one of the person told that what is the part of software industry basically. Software industry basically are into the data science basically. Data science means you can just imagine basically the many softwares basically are created. One example basically I had taken as a CRM software, and how basically the CRM software ideas basically is connected. That also we have discussed. Like this basically many softwares basically are also created. Like this one of the person told that so each and every designs basically which we creates basically that is one project basically, that also you can say basically. So nowadays basically the world is of IT basically. So each and every IT basically world basically is containing IT language basically you can say. So IT language is basically you can just imagine basically the software companies basically. So software companies basically uh, are into the project creation basically. So project creation also you can say project creation means you can say for example India land is basically creating some designs basically that is going to generate what basically, that is going to generate the hand part basically, hand part power basically, that also you can say. So hand part power basically, then basically few designs basically are designed by the set of countries basically that are heart basically. So heart is also basically one of the part basically of that 90,000 year old group basically. So that are basically many peoples basically, it's not like that basically 1 or 2% basically are there. There are certain group basically you can say whose age basically is 90,000 year basically. 90,000 year basically you can just imagine basically 90,000 year basically. So 90,000 basically is it's a very dangerous age basically. So they basically leaves the world basically. Sometimes basically they stays in the universe only basically. That also you can say. So these people basically are into the creation basically. So currently assume that basically 103rd number human generation basically that is ongoing basically. Their basically creation is we are basically doing. So currently, basically, the one of the person told that there are basically around assume that basically India is creating around seven designs basically. Assume that basically they are creating seven designs. So seven designs basically is one project basically. You can say without basically the management you can't create the project, right? Basically, without management basically you can't do anything basically. So one of the person told that management is also basically one of the skill basically who actually manage the each and every stuff basically. Each and every stuff basically are managed by the certain groups basically. That is basically given the name as a management. That is basically you can say IITs are there, MBAs are there, then IIMs are there basically. Like this, the normal people also basically do the management basically. So like this, basically the management skills are also basically there basically in this world. So one of the person told that this is the management. For example, I will take one example. There is one CRM software. So CRM software basically is a customer relationship management software. So that basically requires the customer relationship is. Customer relationship is, for example, CRM software means what actually? One of the person basically is, first you have to take the definition basically what actually the CRM software is. So one of the person told that CRM software basically you can say it's handling the entire relationship of management of the customer basically. Before basically after purchasing the product basically he becomes the customer basically. So previously basically when he was not customer basically he was just a normal data basically. So that basically was the data. After that basically when he purchased the product basically, that basically enters into the data that is the in the form of the system basically, that is the CRM system basically. And then basically the CRM software basically handles the data basically. Then basically the relationship of the customer basically starts, that basically has given as a customer relationship management system basically. So products basically are purchasing, for example I have purchased this code basically, or basically I have purchased this photo frame basically, and that basically is a relationship between the shops and the customer, shops and the customer basically, and I am the customer basically. So like this basically they maintain the relationship basically. Same way basically, for example I am purchasing one car basically, just taking as an example basically and really basically taking as assume that basically I am going to purchase one car basically. So the car basically which I am going to purchase basically, that basically will be the product basically, and the data basically which is going to enter into the system basically, that is CRM system basically, and the product is car basically, and the customer name is Sunil R Nair basically. So like this basically the customer relationship management basically contains basically. So like this basically this is also basically one of the system basically. So same way basically the CRM software basically which we have handled basically, which we have created. Like this, the management system basically comes. Management means project managers, software delivery heads, CEO, CTOs. CTO means the delivery heads basically, who are basically just into the technical stuff basically. That is the technical stuff basically. The technical group basically creates the technical stuff basically, that is the, for example project getting creating in the .NET or basically Java or basically the SQL server basically. Then basically the technology basically stuffs into comes into the picture, and the architect comes into the picture. What is the architect and what is architecture basically, that basically we have discussed lots of time before basically what actually the architecture of the project basically is. And then basically the system basically gets creates basically. Then the project management skills comes into the picture. Project management means, for example you are creating one software basically, that is the CRM, customer relationship management software. That means customer relationship management software basically, I will take one simple example basically. Assume that basically one person want to create one login screen. So login screen actually what is basic, that is the many types of authentication basically are there, like database level authentication, Windows level authentication. So two level types of authentication basically he have to take basically. So he have to take the two levels of authentication. So there are how many tasks basically? Assume that basically the two level task basically which he had taken. One is the one task is the Windows level authentication, and one is the database level authentication. It's very huge basically. Huge means very big basically, big level basically. So if it's a big level, then basically assume that basically we had divided into one sprint and then the another sprint basically. So sprint one basically contains the database level authentication, and the sprint two basically contains the Windows level authentication. So these two basically authentication basically we have taken basically, right? So like this, the two authentications basically are there: Windows level authentication and database level authentication. So two sprints basically are there. In the two sprints basically we have taken sprint one name given as a database authentication, and sprint two basically given as a Windows level authentication. Sprint one basically contains what basically? Many types of tasks basically are there: creation of procedures, creation of design, form design, creation of the validations, creation of the database level authentications, creation of each and everything, then submission of data, this, that, basically registration part. This all basically it contains. Same way, basically the Windows authentication also basically contains task basic API creation, because in Windows application basically, if you are creating the Windows authentication, then basically you have to create the application basically, that is the apps basically. So for that basically you have to create that also basically. So one of the person told that that is also basically one of the creation basically. So like this basically is the management skill basically. So this is basically one of the management skill basically you can say. And in management skill basically this all are the stuff basically that also you can say. So like this same way basically you have to create the management of the design basically, that is the Galaxy design basically you can say. That basically is created on the base of set of cities creation, and city creation basically is one of the project basically you can say. So one of the person told that city creation basically is one of the project. In city creation you can say city basically, what is that basically everybody knows. So that basically is one project basically, that also you can say, and that project basically contains what basically, that is the main thing basically. For example, in one of the person told that the crm software basically contains crm software basically contains the crm software basically contains the uh, I authentication. I authentication means the crm software which you are creating, that is basically going to generate I energy basically, that also you can say. So that basically is the product basically. So crm product basically is one product basically which is going to generate the I energy basically you can say. So I energy basically you are creating. So that means I energy if you are creating, that means you are going to, you have to produce some product also basically for that. For example, crm product basically which you are creating basically, that is going to generate some um, vegetables. Assume that basically that is a beetroot basically. So beetroot basically you are going to create from the crm product basically, so that is going to generate the I energy basically. So that I is going to generate the energy basically in the environment basically, on the base of that crm software basically. And here basically the crm is one software basically, crm is one project basically, crm is one product basically you can say, which is going to generate I data basically. So I energy basically which is going to contain energy basically which is going to generate in the environment basically, and that is going to merge to that 90,000 year age people basically. So 90,000 age person basically is going to uh, get that data basically, that is the I energy data. So one of the person told that that means basically the city creation basically is not the easy stuff basically. So one of the person told the universe basically, who created the earth planet basically, who created the actually the earth planet, they have created many uh, groups also basically you can say, who basically handles the each and every stuff basically. For example, head part basically is there. Head part is given to certain groups basically. In this basically, the religion basically is given one name basically: Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, and that basically is Christian. There basically, they all basically is in the earth planet basically. They are into the creation basically. For example, one of the person told the head part is basically creation created by which group basically. So one of the person told the head part basically contains many stuff basically. So that basically head basically we will take away. So as in that basically that is given to the Christian group basically. So Christian group basically divides the stuff basically, they create basically one person basically can't do anything basically. So they divides the I part into one area basically. I part is given to the England. Then basically the neck part basically is given to the USA. Then basically the ear part basically is given to the Italy. Like this, basically, many parts are basically given to each and every body parts basically. So each and every body parts basically is given to the set of groups basically. That also you can say basically. So like this, each and every body parts basically is given to the each and every people basically you can say. So one of the person told that this is actually one project basically you can say. For example, many countries basically are creating the projects basically you can say, and here basically the world is divided into the religion part basically, and then basically they merge the data to the universe basically, and that basically is the 90,000 year old people basically in this world basically they exist. And on the base of that 90,000 basically the data, universe basically say that basically we are basically getting the data of 90,000 year old person basically, who is in the earth planet basically, 90,000 year old group person basically, who is into the earth planet basically. We are taking the data of that particular person. So one of the person told that the doctors basically are into the picture basically, right? The doctors basically say that basically we basically are eye specialist, we are the head specialist, we are the neck specialist, we are the private parts specialist basically. Like this basically each and every body basically specialists basically are there. So they say that basically we are basically into this all reach. And they basically say that basically we know that this 90,000-year-old person basically. So they said, for example, one person basically went to the Mumbai and he basically told he basically not got the job basically. And due to not got the job basically, he basically came back to the his net is basically where he was staying. Assume that basically he's staying in Vadodara city. So he came back to the Vadodara city. And Vadodara city basically he came back and then basically one of the person told that in Mumbai basically why have he basically has not got the job. Because Mumbai city say that basically we will not give him job basically. Because here his the currently basically we are creating assume that basically we are creating heart part basically. So heart part basically we are creating, and heart part data basically are created by the Bollywood group basically. And the Bollywood person told that basically we don't have any data basically of this, but for this particular person basically. So he is supposed to get out from the Mumbai city. Like this basically, the doctor told that basically. So sorry, the doctors basically are Bollywood group basically. So in Mumbai basically Bollywood groups are doctors ना basically. So they basically say that basically नहीं भाई ये बेकार है यहाँ से निकाल दे इसको. So they basically told that basically we are basically exiting basically him from this Vadodara from Mumbai city, and basically in Mumbai city basically is not he basically not got the job basically because his heart basically is not proper basically. So like this basically they given the remark basically, and like this basically they fired that particular as in that basically that is my person basically. He basically told that basically चल भाई निकल ले यहाँ से. Like this basically in Mumbai language basically they told चल रे निकल ले पतली गली से निकल ले. Like this basically Mumbai say basically. In this basically Mumbai city basically say that we are basically fired Sunila Nair basically from the searching job basically whatever job basically is searching. So one of the person told that he basically fired from the software company basically whatever company basically. So like this basically he told that basically Mumbai basically city told that basically he is fired from the software industry basically. Like this basically the they basically told that basically we had done the Jashan also, we had done the party also because we have fired Sunil Arnaya basically. And Mumbai city, one of the satellite person told that Mumbai city is basically near the sea basically. Sea that is Samundar basically. That city you are talking about. One of the satellite person basically just now asked basically. So Sunil Arnaya told that yes basically that is the city basically where Sunil Arnaya basically has fired and basically he not the god he basically not got the job. And one of the person told, but there are basically lots of Gujaratis also. Na? Gujaratis also not helpful basically. No basically Gujarati also basically told that चल भाई निकल ले. In Gujarati basically told चल ले निकरी ले रहा थी निकरी ले थी. And then basically few Malayalis groups are also basically there. They also told that Allah poor I would in there. Like this also basically they told that basically that is basically then one of the satellite person basically that was Ayyappa God basically he told that basically that's near sea basically that city you are talking about. Yeah basically I am talking about that city sea that city only basically which is near the sea water basically which is near the sea basically that is the Samundar city basically that is near the Samundar basically. So that sea that basically city you are talking about. One of the Karthik God also basically from the universe told that basically asked the question basically that sea you are talking about basically Sunil. Then one of Sunil Arnaya told that yes basically that is the city basically that is Mumbai city that is near the sea basically which basically they are saying. And one of the person basically from the galaxy basically that is Karthik basically uh, currently basically he is in I side basically that basically you can see this I basically he's in the I galaxy. He told that basically we are talking about that Mumbai city basically where basically the city is basically near the sea. Yes, basically. Then Sunil Nair told that yes, basically that city told that basically Allah nikal le re patli gali se nikal le. Like this basically they told. So like this basically all basically the group basically who are the Indian group basically they also basically jumped into this and then basically they also told them basically chal bhai Sunil bhai go from the software industry. Like this, basically, not a single person basically of the software company basically who are basically friends of Sunil Nair basically. They also basically not helped Sunil Nair basically who are basically still staying in the Mumbai city and they are basically at the near the and Karthik God basically is the I Galaxy basically. He's in I Galaxy. He basically told that you are talking about that city basically which is basically near the sea water basically. Then Sunil Nair told that yes basically that city only basically I am telling about. That is city basically the where basically Sunil Nair basically not got the job. And like this, basically, one of the person told that when the galaxy was basically created, assume that basically the one design was basically getting created from the India land, basically. And India land, basically, one of the land is basically Mumbai land, basically. In Mumbai land, basically, they were designing one design, basically. In that design, basically, this was also basically calculated, basically. That Sunil Arna basically has not got the job in the software company. And one of the person told that you basically might have not tried in the Vadodara city. But then Sunil Arnott basically told that, but everything basically was planned basically. That is called as a management level plan basically by the software company basically. Because they have created each and every software company basically long before in the Vadodara city basically. So that Sunil Arnott basically is not supposed to get the job in Vadodara city also in the software company. So one of the person told that which group basically that is. That is the Hindu group basically, that is Sri Ram group and the Hanuman group basically, who told that basically Sunil Nair basically will not get the job basically. So like this basically one of the person told that, yeah, basically you are doing the fasting of Hanumanji. That means the Hanuman group only basically told that basically will not get job in the software company. Then why don't you basically change the caste only basically? From Hindu group you change the caste basically. Then one of the satellite person told that then basically Hindu group will exist basically in this world basically. Then also one of the person told that also basically. One of the Karthik god basically who is in the I galaxy. Currently he basically changed the location basically. He told that basically Hindu group will exist basically. After when you will leave the Hindu caste basically. Just now basically change the location basically. From I galaxy to other location. And he told that basically Mumbai city basically is near the sea water basically. Near the sea water. So one of the person told that what actually this was actually. This was actually one of the story basically which is creating the design basically of the creation basically which you are basically creating basically. And that basically earth planet basically is having 90,000 year old group basically who are staying in the earth planet, and when the earth planet basically will get end basically they basically leaves the earth planet. So you can just imagine basically the creation basically which is already done. So in next video basically we are going to see little bit more about this video.